everybody, KT here with Wise Images Photography. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about how did I get the image and a little bit of a photo critique of saying what I liked and what I did not like about that particular image. If you guys like nature photography and going on fun-filled adventures, hey, think about subscribing to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any other future episodes. Let's get going. Today we're going to talk about this beautiful reddish egret that I got out at Sanibel Island. I was actually out at the Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge when I got this particular image. I remember I was driving, we were kind of like a little bit in low tide. When you're trying to get shorebirds, birds that are near the ocean or whatnot, you go more off of the tides, more so than you go off of like time for like the golden hour. So anyways, it was a little bit closer towards low tide, and I was coming up over this bridge and I looked over to my left and I saw this beautiful bird and I was like, what is this? Because I was like, what is this red bird that I'm seeing? And so I jumped out of the truck and I started taking some photographs of this bird, and it was really cool to watch this bird because this bird would, you know, bring up the wings like this and then strike, and I mean, it was just, this bird was like constantly going. And one of the things that I learned is like what reddish egrets do is when they go like this with their wings, all the fish come up underneath and then they go ahead and strike. So that's actually part of their hunting technique. So anyway, so that's where I was when I got the image. Now, what do I like about this image? What do I not like about this image? What I love about this image is the fact that, one, I'm using some, like, multiple compositional tips and tricks together. So we got the rule of thirds going on. I'll go ahead and make sure that I put something with the rule of thirds on there. A lot of times, you guys, if you've watched and you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. As I've normally told you all, that when I'm just walking around, I will put that focus point in the middle of the screen, so that way if something happens, I'm like boom, 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 right? So I know where my focus point is. In this particular instance, I knew that this bird was going to stay right here, pretty much in this area. And so I did go ahead and shift my focal point to the rule of thirds. So I got the rule of thirds. The other thing that I love about this image is the fact that I have reflections going on. And I did put the bird smack dab in the middle of the screen, like in regards to up and down with the reflections, so that you have both sides. I love that. I also love how it's like very simplistic. You do not have a lot going on all the way around. So really your focal point is this bird. The bird is also, you can tell that they just got done diving and coming back up. And so you have all these beautiful water droplets all around this bird. And I love that. To step back on the fact of you having the negative space, and then also you can see like the bird had been walking, because you can see the trail behind the bird. So the fact that I have this negative space, it allows you to kind of think to yourself that this bird is probably going to keep on traveling through the scene. So I also like that as well. I do like the fact that it's just a very simple image. Now, I did crop in a little bit on this image so that it'd be a little bit closer when I took it to print for the calendar. What I don't like about this image, it was hard. I had to dig deep on this one. I'm like, what could I do? What could I critique myself on? What could I say could go better? I did feel like the focus was a little bit more, the bird is in the same plane, but the bird is a little soft. But we've talked about that before, and the fact that being a little bit soft shows that there was action going on. But I was also wondering if maybe because there was so much water going around the reddish egret's head, maybe that's why the face didn't look as sharp as I would have probably wanted it to be. The other thing that I was thinking is I like bright images. I really do. There's something just bright and airy and happy about them. And this image, I did not darken down. A lot of times photographers will tell you to take the edges and darken them down because you want to draw that eye to your subject. And I do that too sometimes as well. But I do like how bright this whole entire scene is. Some people may have said, hey, you know what? You should have probably brought a linear gradient down from the top and up from the bottom so that way it kind of closed in on the bird. So that might have been something that I could have probably adjusted here. But remember that it's up to your taste. What do you like, right? You know, photography can be very subjective. The other thing is I would have liked to have been closer. I already cropped this image a little bit so that it could be closer when I went ahead and I brought it to print. I'll show you guys. But yeah, if I could have been a little bit closer, that would have been nicer. But I wasn't. And you know, I always try to make sure that I don't get overly close to my subjects because I try to make sure that I give them the distance so they can still do their normal thing without me interfering, you know? That's the right thing to do. Anyways, if you guys like this content, please make sure you guys go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Tell me, what did you guys like? What did you not like? What have you might have done differently in this particular situation? Let me know. We are here together to grow together, okay? So, needless to say, remember that you are awesome! Have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll see you later, alligator, and you got this.